Good Friday afternoon,
Hey,
evening
hey,
to you, Victor. How are you doing?
still alive.
One of these days, you're going to come on and say, not that. And I'm not going to know what to do with that.
Well, that's the
Explain.
thing. I've been training you for so long that I'm just baiting my moment. Waiting
Speaking
for
of
it.
so long, before we get into it, this month is our 5-year anniversary with the podcast. Not
Oh,
with the live stream, but 5 years with the podcast. I need to look up the date. I can't remember the exact date anymore.
that's a very long relationship, man.
It is. I mean, when we started out, your daughter was, we'll say it this way, she was less than 10, and now she's greater than
Yes,
10.
8. Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't seem possible. Wow. Hi, by the way, my name is Darren. This over here is Victor, and we are the co-host of a podcast that we just talked about called DevOps Paradox that comes out on Wednesdays at 6 a.m. Eastern. And on Fridays when we're around, we do this live stream. Today will probably be very short because I can't blame KubeCon hangovers anymore. I think that's over. There's just not much going on. Are we sort of in that messy middle before we get into holidays or like summertime, I guess? What do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. Not much going on. That's the who knows.
Yeah.
I mean, there could be alternative explanations, like companies going bankrupt. Um, realizing also that okay, the bubble of cloud is bursting, and now we have a new bubble of AI. There can be many explanations why it's silent.
Maybe everybody's just
There,
getting
there
ready.
is at least one big news that we didn't cover last week because probably it happened afterwards, or no. I don't know.
Which
We
one?
talked about it. IBM. No, no, no.
No, we talked about that
I'm
last
too
week.
old. I forgot things. Yes.
No, that's the one thing. There was some follow-up pieces on that this week. I just don't want to get into it because those people are outside and just opining, and it's like, look, HashiCorp got bought by IBM. Yay for
That's it.
everybody, right? Just why not? That's a good thing. Karen, good to see you. Martin, thanks for being here live as well. I do have an AI tool to play with this week, a small one.
A small
It,
one.
it's a small. Well, I'm testing. Of course, I try to do everything with local models to be cheap and not spend money. So it's marginal, but it's interesting. So we'll look at that towards the end, which is going to come up very fast, actually. If we go ahead and take a look at what the show was this week here, let me go ahead and get all of my things going here. There we go. We had Port on the podcast this week. Thanks to Port for sponsoring the episode this week, talking
Yay.
about developer platforms or developer portals. Wait, which was it? That was my problem, and I'm still messing up even after doing that.
I use them interchange. No,
We shouldn't be using them
Portal-
interchangeably.
no. Platform is the whole the whole deal, right?
It's everything.
Portal is the front end.
The little thing. Yep. So we had Zohar on to talk about that from Port. He's the CEO, and it was fun. It's always interesting when we have somebody on from Israel and we're just listening for sirens or something else going off in the back. There was a lot of that in this episode. Tried to filter it out, but
Man.
didn't do a great job.
We should get professional photos of us, Darren, one day. You see, Zohan kind of, you see
Oh, yeah.
immediately that it's professional, because it's always like head tilted. It's always
Head
like this.
tilted,
This
get
is
face
always
up.
professional, kind of like body 45 degrees,
Yeah.
head tilted. That's it, right?
I actually have one of those.
You can make it now, huh?
I have one of those. I just haven't updated this picture yet because I'm too lazy to
Okay,
get
so-
to it. Hey, Miroslav, good to see you. Thanks for being here today. Let's, again, podcast Wednesdays, 6 a.m. Eastern. The upcoming episode this week is just me and Victor talking about something. I don't remember what it is because I'm actually 2 weeks ahead. I had to negotiate with my wife. I'm going to do this.
Okay.
I had to negotiate with my wife because I have that speaking thing coming up at the first full week of June. So I'm basically, I think 4 weeks or 5 weeks out from that right now, which I haven't started writing those yet. Anybody that's going to self, forgive me, I'm not there yet. I have the ideas. I've written down some ideas. I've got some bullets, but not fleshed out yet. But I've got to get the podcast done to be probably the third or fourth week in June, like almost all of June done before I start writing those. Because if I don't get that done, then I got to get the podcast editing out of my head. So I'm negotiating with my wife, just like, okay, during the week, I need like 3 nights a week to where I can just edit podcast. 2 nights a week, we'll do whatever you want. And then once we get through June, then we'll go back to our normal. And she said, yes. I went, oh, I have the best wife. Okay. So there was this article from AWS using OPA to validate EKS blueprint templates. Now, I thought this was interesting. It's not really actionable directly for me, but it was just interesting of how they're using OPA, whatever, OPA.
Yeah.
I and there was a reference article that came out today of how Slack used Carpenter to cut all of their expenses for using EKS and stuff too. So I've been noticing on the AWS blogs, there have been a lot more like either, I don't want to call it a case study because it's not really a case study, but here's how it's happening in real life. To me, those are very useful, even if I'm not going to use it myself.
Nice. Oh,
So
yeah.
I hold up AWS and their blogs as not necessarily gold standard, maybe silver standard, right? And nearing gold standard, just because they're just good. They're really good.
They're probably best in business for doing, I'm going to call it reference architectures, right? And I'm not sure whether this qualifies as it, but when architecture that explains, okay, so this is how we do things, that you can just take and run and say this is actually good from the start. They do exceptional work on that.
So again, I did not get all the links down below the video before the show today. I'll get them in right after the video today. I promise to do that. There was a post from our friends at Charm, which we're still trying to get somebody on from Charm. We're waiting. We're working. Just not happening yet. I thought this was interesting. This is by Bash Bunny, who is their DevRel person, of using their AI tool, which is called Mods,
Okay.
and then using their other tool called Pop to send an email. So what we can't really see here in this is, based on the given input, some recurring themes in the bug reports include, and they do this. And then based on the given input, the recurring themes and enhancements are, and I said input, I meant output. So here's how she's doing it. If you haven't used, did we show Mods one time? I think we did, because I noticed it was configured. I was like, okay, we must have done something with it. But anyway, so Mods is just a command line interface to AI. That's it. Well,
Yeah, we
that's
did
basically
that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Pop is just sending email from the terminal. Okay. And they talk about some other services. So putting it together, then we get down to the point here. And they talk about using Skate, which we'd never seen a real usage of Skate before. Skate is the Charm key value store
Okay.
for their, and she's
Yeah.
using it for secrets. Because she's like, hey, all of my dot files are out in the public. I don't want to embed export API key. Right? You don't want to do that in your public scripts.
Yeah.
But here's what she was doing. GitHub issue list, piping that to Mods. What are the recurring themes in the bug reports given this output? And then, same one again, what are the recurring themes and enhancements given this output? Again, bug reports, enhancements, only real difference. And then email it. Then she goes into doing it in a cron, and then completely over-engineering it and putting it in a container image. Just because you can, right? It's just whatever it is. So, again, much like what I was just talking
container
about,
images is not engineering. That's the default packaging mechanism. That's equivalent to zipping it up.
today it is, right?
Yeah.
Right. Again, much like the AWS blog, when Charm puts out a blog that's like this is like spot on. And I started thinking, it's like, oh, how could I use this for... Because this was, even though we played with mods, this gave me a very interesting, I'll go ahead and say what I was thinking about. I was thinking about, scarily or not, instead of doing GitHub issue list, I would hit a specific Jira project, pull those things in, or hitting a help desk system, like Zendesk. What's the other one? I'm drawing a blank. The one my wife uses. Anyway,
So
pulling those
it's a
tickets in.
replacement for you using API of those tools, in a way.
Well, but see, the thing is, I could still use the API of those tools, but I need the data out. So I'd still probably end up making the API call to get the data,
Yeah.
and then pipe that to mods. It's like, okay, what are the key part here is what is the recurring, or what are the recurring themes? That's a very interesting question to ask, because it might be able to aggregate things a little bit differently. So anyway, from Bash Bunny, it's called Identifying Trends in Your Repos Issues, all with AI. So
Nice.
that was a charm. A couple of tools. Actually, is it just one tool this week? Yeah, it's just one tool this week. I saw this from, I don't remember who it was, talking about checking for broken links in markup files. Normally, I don't check. I check for links after everything's published, right? I have a link crawler that checks everything for me. And I run that once a week, and I fix all the broken links. Because I'm using Hugo, I've got markdown files, it's easy enough to do. Victor's site, on the other hand, being hosted on WordPress, it is not as easy to do.
Victor regretted decision to host on WordPress long time ago. I keeps regretting. I'm going to shut it down, probably.
You're going to shut it down?
WordPress.
Oh,
Yeah,
and migrate it? It's easy to
I
migrate.
don't know why do I have it even?
Okay, so here's one reason why you have it. We need it because it's got good domain authority. It's been out there long enough.
Okay.
We could move it, and because remember when we started the DevOps Paradox.com site, it was actually on Squarespace. This is a bad idea. But anyway, I had a few sites, just old sites that were on WordPress. I exported them over and turned them into Hugo. Like there's a Hugo exporter. And then was there work involved? Yes, there was work involved. Was it
You
weeks
almost sold it to me. You sold it to
involved?
me, and then you said the work involved.
Yeah.
Come on.
I know. But anyway, let's go back to this. So most of the time you're checking for links, but the site needs to be running. You're having to crawl it, which is still good, right? That's like the end. You should do that anyway. But this gives you the ability just to check URLs just in the markdown files without the site even running. You can just scan through the markdown files. Thought it was interesting. It's been out there. There's a GitHub action for it, but again, I'm looking at it from a CLI perspective, just standalone CLI. And I like keeping my links as fresh. And if a link dies, I just take it out, by the way. So if you're ever watching old stuff from us and a link, we talk about a link and then you go to look at it and it's not there, that's why, because I've taken it out. I will go ahead and say with this, what Martin's saying here, Spotify released Spotify for was it Spotify for Backstage? What was it? Well, no, it's the...
Spotify released Spotify for Backstage. Okay.
Yeah, let me pull it up here real quick. They released it is called Spotify for Backstage. Sorry, Martin, you were correct. I was incorrect. The build like Spotify. So it's basically their own hosted version, if I'm reading it right, of Spotify. So they're getting into the SaaS business. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay. So Spotify SaaS. Okay. I thought, you know how I interpreted that message? Kind of, there is a Spotify plugin for Backstage. Okay. So
No.
Spotify portal. Yes. That's such a mystery to me. Such a mystery, to be honest. I mean, that Spotify came up with Backstage, yes, but that Spotify is entering into that business sounds very strange to me.
So it's Backstage in a box, everything you need, what's in the portal, comes with blah, 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 blah. It's basically everything's I'm going to call it prepackaged. It's like, this is it, right? Here's your Spotify in a box, literally what they just said up top.
Yeah.
Or not Spotify, Backstage in a box. So
It's a SaaS service, right?
it says limited beta, so I have to assume it's SaaS. I can't imagine it's going to be self-managed. That would, but anyway, yes, that's it. Martin, thanks for reminding me. I had thought about bringing it in, and then I was like, I don't know, but we brought it in. Okay, good. So this was a great video this week, by the way. What made you think of comparing it to a restaurant?
I don't know, to be honest. No, I do actually know. That came up when me and Katarina from Dynatrace, by the way, upcoming guest in the podcast, were brainstorming what are we going to do for KubeCon. That, I don't know how, but that somehow ended up being a team. So that's what we used as a team in our KubeCon talk, and then I thought to elaborate it a bit more, and the video came on. It's very different from videos I normally do, so I wasn't sure how good or bad it is, though.
Well, 2,500 videos or views. That's not bad.
Not good either.
Well, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
Better than mine. Did I say that out loud? Wait, was that my inside voice or outside voice? I don't remember anymore. Okay, anyway, good video. Victor's videos comes out on Mondays, usually 10 a.m. Eastern, if I remember correctly. 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern, somewhere in that ballpark. Isn't it almost time for time to change again? I've lost track. Okay, so here's today's AI tool. It's called Perplexica.
Perplexica. Okay.
You've heard of Perplexity AI? You've heard of Perplexity?
Yes.
This is an open source version of it, in like MIT running type deal. Oh, crud. So there's a new version that just came out, so I may end up having to rebuild. So if you've used Perplexity, this will look normal to you. I've got it running. I've got it pointed at an Ollama. What do I have? I think I've got it pointed at a Llama 3 model. It's hard to say Llama 3 with Ollama. But anyway, Llama 3 that's running on Ollama on a different machine. I've got Perplexica running on this machine that I'm sharing from right now. It's running in a container image, or running in a container.
What does it do? Is it just interactive?
Well, let's just go ahead and go over to it real quick. So anyway, Docker Compose up. I'm actually using, what am I using? Colima and NerdCuddle, just to make it make more sense for me. So if we take a look at, here it is. Let me zoom in. So even though I did a configuration on the file system, basically all I did was just configure my URL. That was it. You can use OpenAI. You can use OpenAI. You can use, I can't remember what the other two options were. Oh yeah, it is Grok, Ollama, and OpenAI. Those are the three. So anyway, I've got Llama 3 running. So if you click on that, that takes you to the search, home. It still does basically the same thing. This, I don't remember what that was because it's not loading. I'm getting a 404 here. I don't remember if that's right or not. And the config. So that's it. All right, so let's go back here. So research begins here. So they've got this new Copilot thing, which I haven't even tried yet. I wanted to hold on that until it's all done. If you click on the eyeball here, I'm calling it an eyeball, you can search. This tells you how you're searching. So across all the internet, Wolfram Alpha, Academic, YouTube, Writing, and Reddit. So just for grins, we're just going to do all to begin with. We're not going to do Copilot yet. So what is a question that you want to find out from the internet? You're muted.
Will WASM replace containers?
Will WASM replace containers? Do
I
I need to
this
zoom
is
in?
more like a search rather than answers, right?
It's going to be both because it's going to end up doing a search for me based on the selection I just made. Right, searches across all the internet. Right, I could have done other things here.
Okay.
So let's just do that, and I'm not going to do Copilot because I haven't even looked at what that is. Now this is not fast because I'm going across the wire on my home network over to the other machine, and then I mean it's not, but it's reasonable.
Yeah, that was okay.
Yeah, I mean understanding my constraints, I'm okay with it. So let's go back to the top here. So here is the source. So if I click on this, it sends me back to this blog post, right? Because there's no way I would have known about this. I didn't. WASM and containers are two different technologies, blah, blah, blah. And it's unlikely that WASM will completely replace them. Well, that's a interesting way to say it. WASM, on the other hand, blah, blah, blah. But I like how it's structuring it, right? And then WASM, on the other hand, is primarily just running code on the web. That being said, potential use cases where WASM could replace serverless computing, edge computing, microservices, right? So do you want to ask it a follow-up question? Actually, hold that thought for just a second. So I could send this.
I do.
You do have a follow-up?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Answer with yes or no.
Answer with yes or no. Whoops.
I think this will break AI.
I don't know which.
No.
Okay, good.
Good.
But it gives you, just what I don't think it kept it in context. I think the context was lost there for whatever reason. Let's see what this is because I don't know.
Okay, so those links. Okay, it wasn't really answering to Wasm anymore.
I don't think so. Yeah, because I would have expected.
You can see it from the links. Yeah, were links leading to Wasm
Yeah.
or something or not?
Oh, see, this is weird. I don't know what's going on because what I don't see here is I'm not seeing, even if it wasn't sharing here. Like I could give it a thumbs down. I could, what is edit? That doesn't do anything yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure what that is. You can search images. You can search videos. So if I have it search videos, will Wasm replace containers? There's a bunch of Wasm little things here. I don't know. So anyway, that's sort of, that part of it's cheesy. So let's try something different. Let's try a YouTube search. And what are we going to ask for?
Did Victor lose his mind? Victor from DevOps Toolkit. Already.
What?
Did Victor from DevOps Toolkit lose his mind already? Or that's coming?
I didn't know if you were changing your idea. Or is that coming in a future video? Okay. Let's see what happens. Because the only one I'd tried was the all. I hadn't tried any of the other options. Oh. Okay.
I'm not important enough. Oh my God. I'm depressed now.
So I wonder what happens with these. Let's see. That's a Q&A. So it thinks we're doing Q&A stuff.
It's okay.
Okay. Well, let's try
It's a
something
reality
different.
check, man.
How about, I don't want to go to Reddit because that just feels bad. Writing. So this isn't going to search the web. So let's ask it something. So what do we want it to write for us?
I don't know. To write.
Yeah.
Write a title and a description for a conference talk about Wasm not replacing containers.
For a conference talk about Wasm not replacing containers. Is that good enough?
Yep, go for it.
All right, let's see what happens. Wasm, not the container killer you thought it was.
That's a good title. That's a catchy one.
Do you want me to copy this and send it to you?
Not planning to. I think actually.
All right. So I don't, these buttons are.
Momentum, so.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's go to Copilot mode. Because now I'm curious.
So Copilot is...
Don't know.
That fit the context?
Let's see. Let's find out what Copilot is because find Copilot mode in development. Boost search by generating different queries to find more relevant internet sources. Like normal search, instead of just using the context by search and G, which tops matches. Okay. So let's try this. But okay, we'll have to change a query. Whoops, let me go and close that. And I can close that too. Let's start over again. We'll stay in all. We'll go to Copilot. So here, so we're resetting everything again here. So let's ask the question again. Will Wasm replace containers? Because that was our first big search. Let's see what happens here. I think in general, the usability of this is reasonable. I mean, it's not like working directly with the model, but I guess it is.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Whatever
it gives us
this is.
citations here. And so if I click on that, it takes me to when WebAssembly replaces Docker. So this is the cool thing about it is like, how would you have known to have found that article to help you build your case for fill in the blank?
Yeah, that's similar to. I still put Gemini very high on my list of those I like precisely
Yeah.
because of giving you citations and being able to validate the text based on existing material.
Yeah. I like this too. It's like, there's all the sources. Like,
Nice.
that's,
What would be even nicer if those resources are somehow inside of the text, kind of like this is where I got it from, right?
oh, you're talking about, well, I
Some
saw
kind of highlights or links or
like
in the text, right?
where, yeah, just
Yeah,
where
kind of
that reference.
exactly.
I think there was a question I asked it, but I don't remember. I thought I saw that before, but maybe, who remembers? So anyway, this is Perplexica. What was it? Perplexica.
Nice.
There doesn't appear to be a website for it. I mean, everything is just right here. So there was a new version that was cut like an hour ago. Let's see if what was fixed in it.
You
Oh,
asked.
module not. Okay, fixes that. Okay, well, that's nothing major. It works. Works pretty
Nice.
reasonably. I was just trying to figure out, was there anything else that made sense? Do we dare go into Reddit and do a Reddit search for something? I'm hesitant.
Reddit should be the main source of information for all those AIs, if you ask me.
Let's go back and do one more then. Let's go fresh here. I just I would like to. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna do Reddit. We're gonna ask the same question of Reddit. Just focusing on Reddit. So we'll WASM
Oh
replace.
yeah, over there you have you have answers. I gotta do that.
Okay, and I'm just gonna leave it on Reddit. No Copilot this time. See what happens. Because what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and do the follow up. Huh. Okay. Tell me more about when containers will remain the better choice. That seems like a reasonable question, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or statement. Let's see. It's like, I'm not sure if it, because it says ask a follow-up, and that's, I'm taking them at their word there. Container cargo ships. Okay, so obviously I got confused. Or I'm doing something wrong, which is always a possibility. It's like some of these things feel clickable, and they act like they're clickable, but they're not clickable. But there may, I don't know.
We're not there yet.
No, but come on, let's give it a break because it's.
No. I mean, no. The project is great. I was more referring to AI in general.
Oh, yeah. Well, also remember, I'm using a local model. I'm using the Llama 3 model locally. I'm not using Gemini,
Yeah.
OpenAI, or anything else. So I'm okay with that as well. Even though Llama 3 is new or newish. So, any other questions we want to ask of Perplexica or no? That's it. I mean, that's the show today. Otherwise,
Is the show? Is that the show today? That's okay. Short
30
one.
minutes. It's a short one today. Maybe that means people can watch it at 2x in 15 minutes.
Exactly.
It's even better. So we'll be back again next week. Sorry that the show finished quick today. Just go tell all the companies to start putting out more information, more news. I did see that Apple did that big stock buyback. Did you see that?
Did what?
A stock repurchase, a stock buyback.
I haven't seen that one.
$110 billion stock buyback, the largest ever in history.
Oh, they're gonna sell it back for double.
At some point, well, again, their stock price started going back up because they're taking some money off the table, but they're taking stock off, which makes it a more scarce resource. So, who knows? That's just I'm counting down till WWDC is what 7-8 weeks away from now, and we'll be talking all AI at that point.
Yeah, and kind of Apple is one of the rare companies that have enormous amount of cash at hand, right? Enormous. So they can do those things. We
Yep.
can't.
We can't. We cannot. So we'll be back next week. Next week is oh, by the way, tomorrow is May the 4th. So all the Star Wars memes, probably should have thought of that ahead, but today's the 3rd, so it doesn't matter. And then we'll be back next week. That'll be May the 10th, which is still not a special day other than it's May the 10th. But then the week after, I will go ahead and say this, the week after, which will be the 17th, we won't be here. So if you want to go on vacation that day, it's good. Yeah, because you're not here.
That's me traveling, yes.
That's you traveling. Which means it'll make my editing even easier. So that maybe that's the weekend I get caught up on everything, and then I spend the next 2 weeks writing my talks. I think that's what I need to do. Any more AI ideas? Go to the Slack workspace, send me a DM.
Yeah.
Just do that, because don't send it to Victor. He's got other things going on.
No,
send it to me, and I'll see if I can figure it out. Though, if I am
truth talk here. I'm the one answering your comments in the DevOps Paradox.
Yes, you are.
Instead of Darin, yes.
So here's the thing. We'll pull back the curtain even bigger. So I edit and take care of the socials, meaning getting them posted. Victor takes care of actually answering everybody, because he's better at that than I am. Right? That's fine. I couldn't do this by myself. Victor obviously could do it by himself. But would you be here every week? Probably not.
I cannot do it. I cannot put a single minute extra
Exactly.
on my schedule.
So that's why we were able to, like, you can drop in, look at a comment, respond, and move on. I'm going to take a look at it, try to come up with the perfect answer, and 3 hours later, I'm still not there.
You're giving like responses like AI. My responses are human responses. Yes or no. That's it.
Yes or no. I gave a yes or no answer today, and they weren't happy with the answer. That's a different conversation that I will not go further into. So anyway, we're back next week. Everybody have a great weekend. It's getting warmer, at least in the Northern Hemisphere. It's pretty darn nice right now. Victor, I'm thinking you're wearing a hoodie right now, but I imagine that's just because it's chilly inside.
It's chilly outside, man.
Is it chilly outside? What is it now? Is it less than 25 there? Is that the problem?
Do you see a window over there? I'm locked
No,
in
I
this
know.
room. I don't know what, but they tell me that it's chilly.
Okay.
Chilly, like, I don't know.
All right.
15 degrees.
I have to. Okay. I don't believe you.
Celsius.
I'm looking it up right now because I don't believe you today. That doesn't. Okay, it is chilly for you there. Yeah, it's
There we go.
it's 66 Fahrenheit, which is chilly. Yeah. What is going on over there? That's weird.
It's cold, man. It's exactly.
That's not right.
It's not good. I need money. I need to have a second house in the southern hemisphere.
That way you
I
can
don't know
switch
where
back
though.
and forth and follow the sun,
Yeah,
literally.
kind of. Thailand. Maybe I should be half a year in Thailand or something like that.
That's too close to the equator for me.
Perfect.
But again, that would be perfect for you. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
Why did we go down this route? I don't know. Okay.
I don't know.
Thanks, everybody. We'll be back again next week. And have a good weekend. It should be a fun weekend. I'll just be buried looking at screens, editing. That's my job.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody. Talk to you later.